Raise your hand if you are sick and tired of everybody telling you the same garbage that you need to follow your passion, do what you love in order to be fulfilled and happy and live a successful life. In this video, I will be telling you why that is complete bullshit and will be giving you 3 useful insights as an alternate that I think will put you down the path of fulfillment and happiness and unicorns and rainbows and all the good stuff. My name is Patrick Kenny, and for the past 3 years, I've helped my family's woodworking business grow from $3 million to $7 million in revenue. I have invested in 4 real estate properties, and I've managed to do all of these things while also being a husband, a father, and a marathon runner. Apart from the sarcasm and self-deprecating jokes, I am here to maximize the potential of young men just like yourself and hopefully help you live a fulfilled and happy life. For point number 1 that I want to talk about is finding something that you have an interest in that also aligns with something that you feel like you could be good at, because you can't have one and not the other. And for the most part, you should not have one without the other, because if you have an interest for something, but then you're really fucking bad at it, those 2 things do not really align for success moving forward. But on the other hand, if you're really good at something and you've put in a shitload of hours doing the thing and you still are like, I don't care that I'm good at it, I just absolutely hate doing this, there's no shot that you are going to have a successful, fulfilled life pursuing that as your career, as your job. 2 things to consider there. Find what you have an interest in and also have an inclination that you could be good at that thing. Marry those 2 together and voila, you're on your path to world dominance. Have you ever played a sport 3, 4, 5 years old and you suck ass at the sport and your parents make you go? It's not fun because you're not very good at it. You really don't know the game, but you go because your parents make you go. And then slowly but surely you become better and better at that sport. And eventually you enjoy going to practice. You enjoy going to the games because you're becoming better at the sport. And now this brings some sense of fulfillment, some sense of enjoyment, some sense of achievement because you no longer suck ass. This brings me to point number 2, which is people are not typically passionate about things that they are very bad at. In this context is your career. You get better and better and better at doing the thing. You get better at building that business. You get better at just whatever that job is, and you begin to become more fulfilled. That's because you now are better at it and you have a sense of achievement when you go and you do the job, when you're clocking in at the 9 to 5, where originally when you started the 9 to 5 or started in that career, you did not really enjoy it. You didn't have a passion for it. And that's totally understandable because you sucked ass at it. Again, going back to the first point, if you're not great at something yet, you're not going to have a huge sense of fulfillment doing it. It's a very rare case, in my opinion, that you're going to all of a sudden love doing something when you're just really not that good at it. So this kind of ties in the third point that I want to get to, which I'm calling the fallacy of boring jobs. An example here would be, do you really think that people who are a accountant, right? Do you really think that they have a burning passion to crunch numbers and they have a burning passion to sit down and do people's taxes? I would argue in most cases, and I think there are some people out there that want to fucking throw up right now, I think in most cases, they do not love doing that at first. But eventually, if they dedicate their life or a time to mastering the craft of becoming a CPA and becoming a world-class accountant, now all of a sudden, is it a wonder why somebody says, oh, my passion is my career and their career is a CPA, or their career is a career in marketing, or insert whatever 9 to 5 job? Doesn't necessarily mean that they own a massive practice. They could just work a 9 to 5 job, but they've spent the time to master the craft of being a CPA. And now that's who they identify with, and they're proud of that because they've spent the time, they've put in all of the reps. And now when somebody asks them, what do you do? And they light up and they're like, I get to do fucking people's taxes. It's because of that. It's because they actually genuinely do get fulfillment out of doing that, because they have a sense of accomplishment, because they have risen above so many other people in their same peer group or their coworkers or competitors. And they've become really, really, really fucking good at doing this thing. And it gives them a sense of purpose and a sense of direction and a sense of achievement and fulfillment and a sense of passion. And they wouldn't feel like that day one when they started. Most people in most careers, I know myself, I didn't feel like that when I dropped out of college and I started working for my family's company. I didn't feel any particular passion to do this for my whole career. And there were plenty of times where my parents were like, do you want to do this? And the honest answer was, I didn't know. But as I became better and better and better and better, I loved it more and more and more and more. The more that you do something and the more you take pride in mastering that craft, the more that you are going going to become obsessed, the more you're going to become passionate about doing the thing. The second half of this point that I want to talk about in terms of the boring job fallacy is that it's not just the fulfillment that you get and the passion that you now have developed because you're pursuing mastery of your job, but it is everything that the job provides you. People are driven by that because it provides resources which are absolutely critical to providing for family and friends and living a happy and fulfilled life. And I think that the more that you go up the ladder and the more that you're able to bring in more resources, get more promotions, get bonuses, and all of those things, you develop more of a passion because you know the benefit of doing this thing drastically improves the quality of your life. And that's something to be passionate about. That's something to be proud of, is you working your ass off and you getting paid and you getting the promotion and you rising above your coworkers and the fiscal outcome that you get from that. And that matters, as well as potentially the flexibility of you rising through the ranks. And now you have a better job work-life balance because you're more in a position of management or whatever. But that certainly holds a lot of value. And it's something that I don't think should be overlooked. Now, if you're feeling like a lost puppy and you do not know where to go next, I would consider these 3 key concepts that I've just discussed. Try to wrap your brain around having and finding a passion and why that's not necessarily what you need to do. Just to review, point number 1 would be finding something that you are interested in and where you feel like you could also excel at that career or job. Then going to point number 2 is remember you are not passionate about things that you are bad at. So my advice would be to get good at the thing before making a judgment on whether or not you feel like, is this my calling? Is this my passion? Well, I can promise you one thing, you'll like it a hell of a lot more if you put in the time to become really, really fucking good at it as opposed to not. And then for our last point, the boring jobs fallacy, which is you cannot possibly be fulfilled by doing boring jobs, which is complete bullshit because the majority of the world does quote unquote boring jobs and plenty of people are absolutely fulfilled, passionate, love their career, all the things that it provides for you. You just need to spend the time to become really, really good at them. You will soon develop a love and passion for that thing. If this video has piqued your interest at all in becoming a little bit more successful and a little bit more fulfilled, you can go ahead and check out this video right here, which breaks down the 4 pillars that I believe are absolutely critical for you to focus on as a young man in this world to live a fulfilled and happy life. Other than that, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.